There we go. All right, I think we are live on everything. Let's see, Twitch. Why is Twitch saying we are offline? Nope, we are not offline. We are online on Twitch. YouTube says we are online. Kick says we are online. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. There we go. And let's see. And Rumble says we are live as well. Are we live on X? What did I have to do last time to get live on X? I'd have to create... Oh, I do have to create the broadcast. That's right. Man, I wish it would just automate this. But, you know, we're getting it. I'm currently going through and making a pre-flight checklist. Broadcast. Yup. All right, so it looks like I'm gonna have to actually create these broadcasts and then start streaming to them. There we go. Okay. And we're showing live on X. Awesome. Okay. Okie dokie dokie dokie. All right, well, we look like we're at a solid 60 FPS. Just as long as we're not lagging like crazy. I'm gonna pull this up on my phone. Check the audio real quick. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Dang, looks pretty good. Nice. I meant to open the Twitch app and I opened the Roku app. Ugh. I hate that they're the exact same color. Alrighty. Alrighty-roo. We are listening to Game Boy Advanced music today. All right. What do we want to work on this evening? Let's see here. Actually, you know what I should probably do? I should post this in a couple of the other Discords. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there's a self-promo channel here. And we'll post over here. All right. We'll get better at this. All right. Snap, snappity, snap, snap. All right. Are you ready for the most wonderful evening you've ever had in your entire life? You're going to sip a drink, tune your brain, and learn how to program the game of your dreams. All right. Let's go ahead and let's see, what do we want to work on? Last night we were working on Salad Kingdom. We could totally pick that one back up today. Yeah, let's see. Do. Hey, Smelly Fish Sticks. I am glad you're eating dinner, and I'm glad you got a pineapple. That sounds amazing. We are stress testing the new stream setup. I bumped my stuff up to capturing 1080p at 60 FPS, and so far it looks stable. I'm also doing a multi-stream setup, so if you feel inclined to check me out on the other platforms, that would be appreciated. But I'm not going to make you do work. I'm not your dad yet. And in the meantime, we're going to listen to some Game Boy Advance music, and we are going to tinker around on some Gamedev. I think I want to work on Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So last time we got all the little buttons working. At least the GUI elements for them hooked up. Let's actually start this off by looking at our design doc. And I don't think I did a design doc for this one yet. That's right, this is an older project that I'm getting back up to speed with some newer coding sensibilities and whatnot. And I wasn't doing design docs then, so let's go ahead and whip up a design doc. All right. The log line of this game. So this Salad Kingdom is going to be a visual novel engine. The goal is going to build the first episode or the first chapter of Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. It's not going to be any more complex than the NES game, although the style is going to be NES Plus. So, like, if the NES is the HD remake of the old Japanese computer version, then I want this to be the Picotron HD remake of the NES version. That's what I want. So, the logline, the summary is going to be first chapter of That's not what I meant. Exclusively for Picotron. Looks okay Twitch side. Nice. Design notes are good, and I'm still trying to work on Toot a bunch. Oh yeah, nice. Like the sprites are juicier than the NES. Yeah, pretty much. I've already got a lot of the sprite work done. This is like the original that I pulled from the NES. It's not color matched to the NES, but it's like the same limited colors. And then this is the Picotron version that I made. So similar, but I retooled it. I'm using the standard Picotron palette because I want it to match Picotron. I don't want, like, I could do custom palette stuff and make this look really snazzy. That's not the point. I want it to be like vanilla plus. Let's see here. Inspiration. Princess Tomato for the NES. And then I do want to pull in a little bit of Scum stuff. I do want to, like the original Princess Tomato for the NES used a gamepad input, and I do want to add mouse input. And so we're going to borrow a little bit from Scum. This game is this is actually one of the things I really like doing. What this game is and what this game is not. This game is a simple visual novel system Oops. Hey, Onion Taco. This game is... So the purpose is to make the engine and editors so that I can make the first chapter of Princess Tomato and then use those editors to make my own game in my own setting later. So that way I don't have to worry about content now. I can just think of what Princess Tomato used, make that, and focus on the engine for now. What this game is not... It is not it is not a full game. I do need to put spaces after these. This game is also not... What else is this not? And this is not full of mini games. Scope. We are looking at one chapter. How many rooms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rooms. No more actions than the NES version's buttons. One song. Because there's just the one song. Well... So there would be the intro, the title song. Hey, Nerdy Teachers, thank you for the follow. Controls, we're going to have gamepad support and mouse support. Hola, my nerdy teachers, nerds. So we're going to use the gamepad support to advance the text. Navigate, what did we call those? Banks? Yeah, button banks. Navigate, not button banks. Navigate, dialogue choices. And then for mouse support, we want click to add advanced dialogue. Click bank buttons. And then under clicking the bank buttons, mouse icon changes like fist, eye for looking, etc. What's a room mean in this context? Like when you're not in a dialogue tree, you can pan an image and select actions. Oh, it's much simpler than that. Rooms are going to be static images. So this is what it looks like right now. So this is a room. It's going to be kind of like the way Princess Tomato was, if you ever played it on the NES. It was kind of like Zork, like an interactive text adventure without typing, and you just had like buttons to do things. So for example, you've got text here, so we're just gonna like press A or whatever to like advance the text. This is like looking in the room. And then once that's done, it kind of gives you some options. Yeah, text adventure with some actions and an image for the room. So you could like do look instead of typing in look, or if you do move, it would give you like, you can go forward to the mountains or back to the, it kind of give you cardinal directions like that. Pretty much like an interactive fiction. Yeah, this is older than CDPC games. Yeah, very, 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 very basic. But the idea is like once you have that, once you have like room descriptions and navigation and being able to like interact with elements on the screen and stuff, then you can just kind of build on top of that, right? You can go to other rooms. You can, we're thinking this is visual novel, but also kind of like those hidden object games where you can like click on stuff on screen to like, like click on the flower to pick up the flower or look at it or something to that effect. So it's going to be more in that vein. Click on screen. What else do we want? I think that's it for now, actually. Roadmap. What do we want in version 1? Well, this is going to be like alpha 1. We want room navigation. Oop, wow, that's not how you spell anything. We want looking. Actually, we want room descriptions. I think the very first thing I want is to like read the description, press the button, and it's going to ask, what do you want to do? And then you can click move and you can go to the next room. You can click move and go to the next room. I think that's what I want on the very... Oh, thanks. Navigate rooms and march through their descriptions, I think is what I want. And then in V2, we want... This is actually 0.1 and 0.2. The next thing I want to do is to be able to interact with items. So I want to be able to can be checked. And I want to interact with on screen, but also list in dialog box. So the way that it would work in Princess Tomato is you would have like a flower here and you could say check. And then it will scan, like the system scans the room for anything that you can check. And it'll list them down here. And then you can like cursor through them and pick the one to check. So it'll be like mountains, flower, grass. And when you check the grass, it's like, it's a lush field full of spinach grass or whatever. Or boy, those mountains look big in the distance. But then if like you check the flower, it'll be like, it looks like you can pick it. And then you can say take, and then it'll list the things you can take, and then you can take that. So I want to replicate that where it has like the array of items that you can interact with. But I also want to just be like, if you click this instead of doing it with a button, I want it to change your cursor so that you can click it and it'll give you the eyeball, and then you can click the mountains and it will it'll like do the same thing. It'll like, whoop, check that one down there. So like it syncs up the control methods. I want mouse. You know what? Actually, that doesn't need to be here. Let's go for the ID scratch list real quick. Changes. Then open. Then. Now let's see. Then mouse cursor changes when button is clicked. Hovering over an interactable item will update the mouse cursor. Let's say for example, look gives an eye cursor. Hovering with it opens the eye. That way you can, there's a little hover tell that, oh, that's a thing that you can click on. Items are interactable, so they can be checked. And screen, that's actually... Yeah, I just want to be able to... Oh, let's see, how many of these... Take, use, give, dump, item. I don't know what item does. I need to play Princess Tomato a little bit, and we might do that on a later stream. Kind of go through the first chapter a couple times, remember and take notes, see exactly what it does. But right now, I know take, use, give, and dump are all item related. I should probably... Actually, I think you can hit, fight, praise. You can do a lot of these to items in your inventory. Because it's like, okay, actually I take that back. There's stuff in your inventory. So when you click item, it shows your inventory. And then when you click some of it, like this will list all the stuff in the room for you to take. Take, which one do you want to take? Use, but when you say use, that's the items that are in your inventory. Same thing with give, and buy is going to be in the room. Hit is going to be in the room. Same with fight. Praise is in the room. Dump is inventory, and item is look at your inventory. And then Percy is help. So let's... Oh, it would be really fun to like beef up the Percy stuff a little bit, make it a little bit more interactive. So buttons that we want in version 1 are move, look, just move and look, because check is checking with items. And then in here, we want check. Actually, Ursa Sky with the raid. Oh man, I wish I had some super cool, awesome raid stuff. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go to system settings, video. Bunny party, a bunny party, bunny party, Ursa Sky. Thank you for the raid. Said bunny party, bunny party, bunny party, Ursa Sky. Thank you for the raid. Is that good? Did I respect you enough for the raid, Ursa Party? Or Ursa Sky? I hope you feel respected. Why is this doing sound effects? Okay. So again, let's think. We're actually going to have items broken out. I had an ad. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for the raid. We'll do the party again. Hold on. I don't have a fancy thing. I hope you saw it. We'll do this. System video. Bunny party. Bunny party. Thank you, Ursa Sky, for the bunny party raid. Yeah, bunny party. Bunny party. Thank you, Ursa Sky, for the bunny party raid. Thank you, Ursa Sky, for the bunny party raid. Thank you so much for the raid. We are doing some stream testing, but we're doing some game dev while we do it. I'm testing out my 1080p 60 FPS stream setup. I've been doing 720 for a little while, but we're doing video game develop in Picotron. We're recreating the first chapter of Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom for the NES. And right now we're kind of going over the design doc to see what we can figure out what we need to make next. Because having a plan is important. So let's see. Oh, we've also got music too. I turned it off, but here we can check that out. I made this a little while ago. Let's go to here. Do you like my music? I didn't write it or compose it, but I did put together this rendition by hand. That's all right here, actually. Oop, that's the bass. The music editor in Picotron is so wonderful. The instrument creation is quite intimidating, but stick around for future streams and we're going to end up making a couple more songs for this. Well, one more. We're going to need to make the intro for the title screen. Oh, did I already work on the second song a little bit? I think I did. Hey, thanks for the follow. I did. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, I haven't finished it. This is like the part where the right half of the cow is just like drawn in scribbles. Anyway, we won't worry about that. Back to our design doc and listening to Mega Man 02. And we're going to do a little test check here. And everything's looking good on that front. YouTube's looking all right. Kick is looking all right. X is looking okay, and so is Wombo. We're trying out a multi-stream. I've never done this before. I just kind of like picked all the streams and was just like, let's do all of them. Let's see if it'll handle all of them. And I guess it kind of does, which is kind of neat. I moved from OBS to Meld Studio. It's working pretty smooth. I'm kind of impressed with it. All right, that is enough for now. We're gonna have to think about we're gonna need to have multiple types of items. And let's actually add that here. We need inventory, room, items, people, buyable items, and I think that's probably going to be it. Talk, take, yeah, those different properties. All right. List of no return. We have nothing in the list of no return. This is when you cut scope. It happens. You're going to need to do it. Things are going to get out of scope, and you're going to be like, nah, we got to cut it back. We got to cut that out. We need to release. Let's see. So yeah, whenever I add stuff to the list of no return, I have committed to not bring it back, even if I really want to. It's like I can put it back into my ideas list if I think I'll want it later, but if I have to make the hard decision to cut it, it goes into the list of no return. List of no return stuff can be deferred. This is how I do my stuff. Can be deferred to the next version of the game, but it is no longer allowed in this version. Bugs, we don't have any bugs, and to do next. So to do next, we are going to look at our roadmap. We want room navigation, room descriptions. So room descriptions, we're going to build this out a little bit more. We're going to need text box wrapping. The current text box wrapping, if you've noticed, it's like, see right there, it's got like a space. I did this a long time ago. It's not good. I think I need to kind of gut this whole thing and just come up with a new one. I'm thinking of maybe trying to use the built-in Picotron one, but I don't think that one even has text wrapping. I might just have to do it myself and just start over. We need text box wrapping. We need button controls. We need, what do we need for text, for the room descriptions? We need room management. I think I'm already doing this with pods, but we're going to need to like figure out where we're storing this text. I think I'd like to do it with pods and keep it doing it with pods. That way I can make another tool to like build the rooms, and then I can just load the pod in my editor and build like the rooms out and then save that and then import the pod here. Which means I should actually probably have like a game data pod with all the rooms inside. Think. Yeah, I think I kind of want to do that. Let's take a look at our current pod setup. Where do we have it? Text? Is that where it is? Nope. Scenes, that's what we call them. So we've got Spinach Heights. Yes. So we have an objects and we have, okay, and I have those in there. So we have the name of the direction. Really, it's just, it doesn't have to be north, south, east, west. Are they normally referred to as pods, or is it simply a fortunately P-themed coincidence for the vegetable game? That's actually really silly and really funny. No, they're called pods. This is a Picotron thing. It stands for Picotron Object Data. And it is Zep's version of like data, object data in Picotron. It's a specific thing to this. Where's my manual? There's my manual. I don't think I have the recent version of the manual in here. Let me pull up. Let's go to my drive, docs. Let's delete that. Let's grab a new version of the Picotron manual. And let's rename it to Manuel. So this is the Picotron manual. And if we search for pod, oh, this is not good because I can't get all the way to the end. It just doesn't render this very well. This was not made to be viewed in Picotron. Pod, Picotron. A pod, Picotron object data, is a string that encodes Lua values, user tables, strings, numbers and booleans, nested tables containing those types. I have learned that you can store functions in tables, but functions do not go over into pods. Hey, NG Tantari. I'm just going to call you NG. Welcome. No, we are... Oh, Tentai. My bad. We are doing some Picotron development. This is not Linux. This is a fantasy workstation called Picotron, made by Zep at Lexalawful. And he's the same guy that made Pico 8. And this is like his new fantasy, not console, but like fantasy device. The other one's a fantasy console. Pods form the basis of all data transfer and storage in Picotron. Every file is a single pod on disk. The contents of the clipboard is a pod, images embedded in documents are pods, and messages sent between processes are pods. So you can turn anything into a pod by running the pod command, where there's the value and then flags and metadata. So you can just like pod something and it'll turn it into a pod. We have over here in my scenes thing. I had some code here that turns, where's the attached scene? Right here. Where I had a level that, like this is a table that put these different keys into it. And then I would just pod that level, just like, and then it would crunch all of that stuff into a pod. And it would end up looking like this. This is like a table. There's the metadata, and here's the content of the pod. So this would be like the moves. There's the N, there's that sprite. So right here, N equals 18. There's N equaling 18. It's called a key and a value. This is the key, this is the value. The reference is spinach height, the title was spinach heights. And I think that was, yeah, that doesn't have the full information. I was doing some, I need to rework all that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that. If we go back to our design doc. So I'm thinking I have multiple pods right now for each of the different files, or for each of the different rooms, right? If we look at here, we've got spinach heights, we've got the zucchini forest, we've got, or the celery forest. I forget what the zucchini is. Anyway, we got all of these different chapters as different pods. But I'm thinking, do I want to parse the whole folder? Like if I'm going to have an editor that makes these rooms and then saves the rooms into a file that the game can read, I could just have like a room generator, and then it would just like, you could just generate a room and then drop the room in here. Or I could just dump it into one like game file. And so it would be like under content, it would be like rooms, and then each of the rooms would split out into all of this. That way I could just import one pod. It would be just like one game file data. And I think I kind of like that. And actually, yeah, let's go done with one room. Done with one pod. One pod. And then I think I can even like embed the images into it. So they could be like this engine is going to end up being like an interpreter, and that might be too many levels of abstraction. Here's the thing though. So I could just embed the graphics and the sound and everything into the game data, and that would work. I would need to like extract those out, which is easy enough for the sprites. I know how to do that. Doing the audio would be trickier because it would rely on instruments, and I haven't worked on loading that stuff into memory. I could probably figure it out, but I haven't done that yet. But the thing is I don't want the room editor I don't want the room editor to also have like a sprite editor inside of it. I want you to be able to... What do I want you to be? I'm trying to think through the room editor now. I think for the room editor... Wow, dang. Okay, well, this might be a situation where we need to make a tool before we can make the game. Am I overcomplicating it? What do you think? Do you guys think I'm overcomplicating it? What if instead, what if putting all of the data into a single game file pod and having an editor, what if I do that in version 2? And hear me out. It isn't necessarily the sloppy or lazy route to do this. Instead, let's see. Okay, let's do room management tool, or we can do manual management. So if we do it, we'll just kind of do pros and cons. If we do it in a single data file for all rooms, then it's also nice and portable. It's also moddable. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. And then we would need it to be import pod tables. Import graphics. But if I'm gonna, so to have the pod, I'm going to have to pull the data in, unpod it, and then load it into the game engine as actual tables, and then use those tables. So theoretically, if I build my tables with a manual management, local data is in local tables. If all the data is local, then and it's organized in a correct structure, then that means I can later make a tool that creates pods in that same data structure and then drops them, like overwrites the current local tables. Like as long as those data structures match up, importing a pod to replace that will work. So I think I can go ahead and proof of concept this out, like get this actually working with just local tables for the data, and then work on podding that and making that portable later. I think that's what I want to do. But can I use this engine to demake the KFC Colonel Sanders visual novel? Well, that depends on a couple things. I appreciate the joke, but in all seriousness, yes, you can. It would just depend largely on, well, I guess if you're doing a demake, it depends on how you interpret it. Visual novels tend to have a lot of like mini games and like little systems that kind of tick away in the background, so that it's not just reading. There's like some interactability to it and whatnot. You would obviously need to code that kind of stuff, or like interpret that how you wanted, which would give you some leeway with a demake. But I mean, yeah, like I don't know what's involved, but totally. There's even like a, excuse me, a ping import option for Picotron. So you could like capture images from that image visual novel and like paste them in here, and it would like convert them, and you'd have to like clean them up a little bit, but it would work. All right, so that being said, I'm going to make a new file. We're going to call this data. And that's in our sources. We're just going to call this data. All right, so let's build out our data structure because we need this stuff to be able to interact with the stuff. So let's go. Data equals table. How do I want to do this? I could do subsections. We could do it all in one big table. That is true. You also have to have metal before you can make a shovel. Yeah, I'm gonna do it this way. And then we're gonna do this. And what did our data file look like? We had moves. Yeah, moves is good enough because you're clicking the move button and it's just plurals of that. Objects is what I was calling the interactables. Objects. Sure, we could start with that, and for now we can fix this later. Look command stuff. Let's do let's see, we had music. Okay, so we could do like stats. Image equals a number. Music. Oops, that's a command. Song equals number. Oh, that's a really annoying song. Let's skip that one. Reference and then title and then okay. So we have the image. Let's see here. So we have the image. Then we want, this is going to be like object stuff. This is like stats. Visited. So a lot of times in these places, if you've already been there before, then like when you come back, actually, you know what? Flags equals table. We're gonna need some flags. Oh, that opens up a little bit of a can of worms. I haven't thought about that yet. We don't need to think about it too incredibly much. But not yet. But the overall story milestone flag system of like, you picked up the key, you opened the door. Now when you go back, the door is still open because that story flag has been set. Or you talk to the guard and he says, scram. And you're like, what are you doing here? And you try to give him your ID and it's a fake ID and he says, scram. And then the next time you come back, he says, scram, because there's a story flag that's been tripped. I need to think of a way to come up with a system that tracks all that. But that's a problem for tomorrow, Wash. But I think we can just stuff all of that in flags here. So we could have like... I'm just going to put that in here just so that we've got stuff. As reminders. Actually, let's do... Might be better to have like a quest. That's a disgusting sound. All right, so we have the image, we have the song, we have a table of flags in our room. We also have moves. The moves are going to be their own. Let's just lock in forward. Let's lock in a couple basic directions. Back, left, right, up, down, and that way we could have the moves be like celery, right? We could, or we could say like room dot, or sorry, no, data dot rooms dot celery. And that would point to that other one. But then if it's false, then we don't even draw it. Oops, dang it. Kind of feel like I should use a meta table for this, but I think that's overkill. All right, so we have objects, we have look, we have move, we have check. Check will check for objects. Talk will talk at objects that have the talk flag. Same thing with take. Use doesn't have to do with the room. Give, buy, hit, fight, praise. Praise is going to be objects too. Dump item, pursue. Okay. So I think for rooms, I think we're good. We have, let's look through it again. We have the image to display. Song, flags, moves. Okay. Now, what we got to do is we need to add multiples. We need multiple rooms here. I'm just thinking through how I want to format this, because right now this is like data.rooms.image. Like this is just inside rooms, and I don't want that. I want a record that's inside the rooms. And so what I would do, format-wise, is I would just make this a table. But I don't like the way that that is formatted with just the curly bracket right there. That looks kind of gross, but I actually respect that a lot. So that would put that all into the first index. Unless instead of a reference name, I just used the name of the room itself. That would indent it one further, which I don't care for. I'm going to do this. Actually, I was supposed to leave that out. And then we'll do... spinach. S-P-I-N-I-C-H. All right. I am not nuts about this, but we're doing it manually, and we're going to clean it up later with actual pod files, so that's okay-ish. Let's copy this. Let's paste it down here, and let's call this master. And we'll make our first room. Spinach Heights. Image is going to be 16. Song is going to be 0. And actually, I don't think I don't think every song should play, or every room should play a song. I wonder if it'll trigger the music again. We'll figure that out. Flags. We're not going to worry about flags right yet because according to our design doc, we are just doing room navigation and room descriptions. So forward goes to Slalolory. And there is a flower here. Objects is going to include that's going to be a table with its own stuff. All these other ones are false. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? So the look is going to actually be not a table. It's going to be a straight up flag or a straight up string. And this is going to be the general look at everything in here and describe the room. Where do I have that? Scene 1, text, chapter 1 text. Okay. I'm keeping that in text files for some reason. Oh, is it spinach? That's funny. Sure enough. Nope, that's just a typo. That's one of the downsides of Picotron. Thank you. Yeah, spell check. Don't have it. I guess I just never spell spinach. Let's leave it all up in this stuff. That's going to be in the text files. Let's go ahead and close this manual out. Chapter 1 text. Many growing seasons ago, there was a palace where vegetables lived happily and in harmony. One day, Minister Pumpkin betrayed King Broccoli. He kidnapped Princess Tomato and stole the turnip emblem. He took them to his castle in the Zucchini Mountains. He sent his cruel farmies out to terrorize all the vegetables in the Salad Kingdom. Shortly after, the poor king died from the loss of his beautiful daughter. But he promised you, brave Sir Cucumber, the princess's hand and the kingdom if you bring them back safely. Godspeed, Sir Cucumber. Hurry, Saladoria is down this path. The Zucchini Mountains are over yonder. Well, no worries. Hopefully it doesn't end up breaking things down the line because some obscure reference is still spinach. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it was 100% my typo. I appreciate you looking out for me. All right. Now we need to add our data in here. And when we do our scene, let's get rid of this. Let's see here. We've got, these are our attaches, so we create the body of the scene. We don't need that. Then we create the scene. We add the draw function. We're manually plugging this in, but let's see. How do we want to do this? We want to plug a room in here, essentially. Let's add some globals. Room equals data dot room dot nope, room equals table. And then when we create our scene and we initialize the scene. Okay, so where does the initting the scene happen? Are we initting the scene anymore? Scene equals that, set scene zucchini. When are we initializing the scenes? We init the GUI, then the controls, and then we init the scene. Okay, so trying to think of where to start from. That's body.scene. Okay, I actually don't think we need this because I think we're using scene instead. So we want scene dot room. No, dot image. Scene, we're going to make this capital because this is global. The scene, and when we init it, it's just going to empty it out. And then we're going to say, actually, let's make this a global. So that creates the scene object. And then when we init the scene, let's just set it to the spinach heights right now. So scene equals data dot room dot spinach. We don't need to fetch any. Yeah, this is dumb and should be completely gutted. Because we're not using pods anymore right now, so we don't even need to set the scene. And scene.text doesn't need to be here anymore. We just set the scene to data.room.spinach. Are we gonna have a problem with? We should probably move this up. Get that data in there early. I don't know why that worked. That should have broken some stuff. Build scenes. We don't need to build a scene at the moment. All right, it is pulling in the right sprite. And that means if we come over here to the data and we change this to 17. Yep. All right. So that's working. And if we come... Where are we getting the text from? That's the thing. Because I want to point the text to our data as well. That's probably in the dialog box. So in a dialog box, the specific sizing will be filled with the text. Text will be broken into lines and typed into the characters and effects. There's more than 4 lines. You up and down dependencies, call strings and tools, monospace. Okay, wow, that's... I got really descriptive there. Make more dynamic faceplate. We do not want faceplates. New border from box. I don't know what that... no, we don't want to pull that from the map. Make custom line breaks. Sure. Scan lines for new lines. Set new endpoint. Okay. We init the dialog box. Let's see, that is here. Init GUI, control scene, and then dialog box. Okay. Message equals 1, whatever that means. Then we load the dialog box with this. That's where it's happening. I should be able to just, instead of fetching that, so just say data.room.spinach.look. Bing bang boodle. Now let's copy this and let's make sure that it's doing the right thing. Oops. Whoops. Bing bang boodle. Bing bang. Oh, wow. Well, yes, it doesn't work. Right. Okay. Boodle space. Bing bang boodle. Okay, so we need a trailing space because I'm dumb apparently in how I do these things. All right, so if we do that, then it's going to, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do scene.look. Ha ha ha. Okay. Scene.look. All right, so now that is tucked into scene, because we have the scene table, and down here when we init the scene, let's actually put this initting the scene stuff. Let's put it before we create the scene. No, that doesn't make sense. And so we take scene and we plug our spinach room, our data room spinach into it. And that data room spinach has songs, references, yada, yada, yada. So that means that when we draw this, we're drawing the scene image. Okay, it's starting to come together. This needs to be moved down. 2, 3, 4. All right. All right, so we're pulling from our data. So that means if we go to our data, let's make another room just to see what it does. And we're going to call this celery. All right, let me see if I can pull up this information. Do I have? Princess Tomato stuff. Like, did I pull all this stuff down? There's all the songs. Tomato, there's the NSF. No, I don't. All right, bear with me a minute. I'm going to look online and see if we can pull up Princess Tomato and grab the text and stuff. Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom text file. Da, 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 da. Beep beep boo. Maybe it's in the game database? No, that's a manual. I don't see any. What if I search for just this? Close. My query was too long. Oh, boo-hoo. Okay, well, it has the story. Chapter 1 walkthrough. Ooh, that's actually really cool. It's got like a map of like where it goes to what. Huh. Wow, I'm actually gonna. Sorry, you can't see this, and I know that that's not helpful, but I'm definitely gonna keep this handy because this will be great for rebuilding it. All right, well, that's not gonna help. Let's let's see here. Let's just add some test text. Celery forest. All right, we'll call this celery image 17. Song is, I'm going to say false. No, let's just say 0. Let's see what it does. Visited false. Da, 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 da. Forward goes to Crossroads. Celery. Crossroads. Okay. Back is going to go to Spinach. Does not have it has a Percy though. And then our look command is going to be the celery grows so tall here. So that means we come here, we got that. If we go to our scene and under init scene, if we change this to the celery grows so tall. Okay. Sweet. Now it is 11:30 at night. I think we've made good progress. I think what I'm going to do next time, I think what we need to do, let's actually, you know what? Let's look at our design doc. And we have room descriptions done. Pretty much. Well, kind of. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. Actually, let's cut that. And let's set that down here. All right, so under navigation, we're going to fill this out a little bit so that we know what we're going to work on next time. We got room management. We have data is in local tables and sprites are in the local graphics file. That's it. And then we need to obviously make more rooms. This is going to be what we're going to do next. We need to work on the text wrapping and then the button controls. For room navigation, we need to dialog box list system. Navigable. The list needs to be navigable. We already know that because it's a dialog list box. We're probably going to work on the text box to wrapping. So there's going to be two separate things. There's going to be when we type out a bunch of text, we're just going to keep hitting A until we read it all, and then it's going to go away. That's going to be the dialog box. So there's going to be that. And then there's going to be some idle text where it's like, what do you want to do? So that's just that. Idle text. And then when we click on a button, it's going to say check or move. We're going to do it for the move. We'll have to build that. And then it'll say list all the different directions out. Forward, back, left, right, up, down, lake, water, blah, blah, blah. Dialog box. And then we want scene transitions. We'll want some sort of management between where it fades the scene out or whatever and then brings the new scene in. I think the other one might have just boop popped it, but we could do a little fancy something. It doesn't have to be too incredibly much. I think there were some scene transitions, but it was like in battles it would be like a sort of thing. To load next scene data. All right, I think that is that. Thank you ever so much for hanging out with me tonight. I think we made some good progress. And I think the stream quality went pretty well. It's still sitting at 60 FPS. I'm very impressed with Meld Studio. I'm going to check the chats real quick. I've been monitoring Twitch chat. No YouTube chats yet. Let me double check and just make sure everything's running there. Yep, everything's still running. Bunch of big fat zeros, but that's okay. We're just testing stuff. Kick. Oh, we did have a kick chat. Let me see. El Kanzi, my homie, seems like you're new in Kick and not yet affiliated. You have a proposal for me. Oh no. Oh no. We got another bot. I thought I already banned you. Yeah, I'm gonna ban you. We don't like bots. Just trying to kickstart my career. Let's see. Oh, I should have been monitoring this on X. WarioWare has some messed up music emulation. Do we have any chats on X? Nope. That's okay. Just a test stream. And then on Rumble. We got any Rumble Bumbles? Nope. All right, cool. Well, I think we're still going to try to just handle the chat here on Twitch. There's like a Rumble something. What's it called? It's like a Rumble has like a multi-chat integration thing or whatever that you can like pull all of them in and then slap them on screen. That might be fun. I think we might try that next stream test just to see if we can get some other chatters in here. More bots that we can block on this side. It'll be fun. But yeah, I think with that being said, we are good. And I thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. And we'll make some games together. And it'll be the best stream of your life. Good night, everybody.